Yo, what's up guys? You got pokeaim here with some pretty interesting news. This is the first ban from Pokemon Sun and Moon by Smogon. Power Construct, Zygarde-Complete is now banned to Ubers. So from OU, Zygarde-Complete can no longer be used. I do want to know your thoughts on that. You can leave that down below. I'll also be leaving this thread down below. We're going to talk about it a little bit. And basically, they all decided on the OU Council that it's banned mainly due to its ridiculous base HP, 216, as it has incredible bulk on both sides of the spectrum, and also because of its move, 1,000 Arrows. Zygarde can run Dragon Dance and Coil sets alongside. I'm like paraphrasing from them, but also giving my own thoughts as well, because I'm not going to lie, I do agree that this thing was a monster, and it was incredibly easy for it to set up against anything. But basically, it can run Dragon Dance and Coil sets with sub or rest, and all it needs is 1,000 Arrows as its only attacking move, because that obviously doesn't care about levitating mons or flying mons. And once the complete form is activated, it's able to live many of the strongest attacks it will encounter in the metagame with ease, even super effective ones, and the calculations below will attest to this. So it definitely lacks the offensive presence that Mega Salamence had back in the beginning of ORAS, but Zygarde definitely finds opportunities in this metagame a lot. It doesn't even matter if you have answers to it, quote-unquote answers to it, but it finds so many opportunities to set up without much stopping it, and it can easily compensate for having only a fairly average base 100 attack stack. Given all of this, the only real forms of counterplay to Zygarde-Complete are underwear Pokemon such as Clefable and Quagsire, and Tapu Bulu, which is far too small of a list to be comfortable with. Overall, Zygarde's complete sweeping capabilities are absolutely absurd, and it holds no place in the OU tier because of this. And I also want to note that Tapu Bulu is only an answer if it's not Coil Zygarde. If it's Coil, Sub-Coil, or Rest Coil, Tapu Bulu does not beat it unless it's Swords Dance alongside that, excuse me. Sorry, that keeps stuttering for my words. But then they show a little bit of calcs right here. Life Orb, Latios' Draco Meteor fails to KO, 16 HP, 172 speed def. Shadow Ball does, from Aegis Slash max special attack, does 24 to 28%. Sheer Force Landers' Earth Power does 34 to 41%. Choice Band Gymnastics U-Turn does 23 to 28% to a 16 HP Zygarde. And basically, it's really, really hard to kill Zygarde. And that's what they're saying here. And because of that, they are banning the ability Power Construct. So you can still use Zygarde, and you can still use, basically you can still use Zygarde, but the complete form and the ability Power Construct are banned. So you have to use Aura Break Zygarde. But I do want to know your thoughts on that. You can leave them down below. It's the first ban of Sun and Moon. Honestly, we were all thinking what happened. I feel like next is going to be Pheromosa, Aegis Slash, and then maybe Genesect around that side, maybe Kartana. We'll see though, obviously we'll see. But like I said, you can feel free to leave your thoughts down below. I do want to know them. It's crazy though, that this Pokemon, even though it doesn't have any nasty stats outside of a boosted HP stat, ridiculously boosted HP stat, and that base 81 to 91 special attack stat, that doesn't even matter. But yeah, it's crazy that this Mon ended up being so much of an influence. It's only been a few days, but they determined this already, and it was just a unanimous vote by the OU Council. But like I said, I do want to know your thoughts on this. I've played around with Zygarde. I've used Zygarde. I've won with Zygarde very easily versus bulky teams, versus hyper-offensive teams, versus anything, even with teams with ice types like Mamoswine, Weavile, or Tapu Bulu as well. Or just faster fairies in general. It's just so easy to set up with this Mon. And I've also lost this Mon even when it was burnt. I burnt it and I still lost to it. But that's just to give an example that this thing is definitely a crazy Mon, and it was really good at utilizing either Coil or Dragon Dance with either Sub-Coil, Rest Talk, anything like that. And all it needed, the only attack it needed was 1,000 Arrows as its coverage move. But like I said, guys, feel free to leave your thoughts down below, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye, friends.